To the Green Mountain Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about how you can add extra revenue to your landscaping business during the off season so that you have revenue coming in all year and so that you can consistently grow and not have those peaks and valleys that can happen when we just focus on just lawn maintenance or just one small area of how we can serve our customers. So stay tuned and we'll dive right into it. I'm Gabe Arnold, and this is the Green Mountain Podcast. We are the champions who brave the elements to create beauty. We see chaos and create order. We are never afraid of hard work, and we understand the power of strategic thinking and intentional actions. We come from all walks of life, and we will never allow our past to determine our future potential. We create beauty around the homes of our customers and increase the value of our community with the work that we do every day. We understand the power of consistent branding because it helps us grow and serve all those around us. We practice effective sales so our company, employees, and community can benefit from the value we add. We intentionally invest in operational habits that help us deliver excellent results to our customers on a continual basis. We understand that powerful and beautiful things take time to grow, and with consistent watering and intention, amazing results can happen. We are committed to making the world a better place by being positive examples to all those around us. We don't allow anyone to look down on us because we know the value we bring to our community as leaders. We create positive workplaces for our employees so they feel safe and supported, and at the same time, we hold ourselves to high standards. We pursue excellence on a daily basis because we know the journey is worth the sacrifice. We are the protectors of the land. We are the guardians of beauty. We are the heroes. We are landscapers. In many of the places in the country, different regions of the country where we serve our clients who run landscaping businesses, we have a lot of seasonality. So I'm in Ohio. A lot of our clients are in Pennsylvania and New York and lots of different places. We have clients really all over the country. But there's definitely some areas where with the seasonal weather changing, it feels like it's feast or famine. One of our clients says, which I've encouraged them to change their language around this because I think it would help them a lot. But one of our clients says when they're starting 90 days of hell, it's right in the spring season where it's 90 days of cleanup and mowing and getting everything running and getting the season off to a start, and it's chaotic. And so that's where it's chaotic, but there's lots of revenue, lots of new projects. But as the year starts to wind down, it's easy to get in a position where you can't work folks full time, your employees full time. You build up a ton of cash over the spring and summer, ideally because you're pricing well and you're profitable. But it's easy to burn through a lot of that cash in the winter because as much as we would like it to snow consistently, a lot of our clients do snow removal and snow management and things like that. But as much as we would like to, hope that it's just going to snow consistently the way it should every year, that's very hit or miss. And it has been for years. It's not just recent times. I remember when I was really young, there was some winters where we had very little snow. And so it's easy to fall into this mindset or a trap of thinking, well, I have to, work my ass off for 4 to 5 months or maybe 6 months, and then I have to live off of what I made the other 6 months. And while that may be true when you start out, there's actually a really simple way to increase revenue during the off season. And just as importantly, make sure that you have consistent revenue all year long so that you're not just dependent on one thing. One of the kind of caveats to this, or one of the warnings or things to keep in mind, is you definitely want to perfect each service and each thing you do in the business. So you're really delivering excellent service. Your customers are having a great customer experience. There's a lot that goes into starting a business. And so I don't take that lightly, and I'm not ignoring that. But for those of you that have been established for, a few years, for those of you that feel like you really have the primary part of your business running smoothly and profitably, and it's growing the way you want, there's definitely opportunity to expand your reach and, figure out what other things you can add. And one of the simplest ways to do that is to just simply ask your customers what else they'd like help with around their property. And you can ask that without committing to anything and say, hey, I'm reaching out to each of my customers this year to just learn about the other needs they have around their property, their home, or their commercial property, or whatever property you're servicing, and just say, I just want to understand what other needs you have there, or what things, you'd ideally like taken care of, or if there's any other contractors or vendors that you're using where you're not as pleased as you are with our work. And you can just start to have the conversation, because the simplest way to add revenue to our business is to just serve our customers at a higher level, give them more value, take things off their plate, help them solve problems that they're either solving themselves, or they're thinking they're going to get around to, or they, just don't get to because they're busy. So the first thing is definitely have those conversations, ask your customers over, a few months, talk to all your customers. Ideally, you do that as the owner or the manager of the business, because you'll have a good global perspective of your business, and it'll give you good insight into what the customers are asking for. And just make note of all those things. Once you've done that, you can start to collect and say, man, people keep talking about these things, and more than half of my customers asked about it or said this would be a need that they have. Then you have real market validation. The market are the people you're serving, the folks that you're servicing their properties. You have real market validation that says, here's what I can add on that people already want. Instead of just making up a service or just, shooting something out there, start with those conversations and figure out what other help that your customers do need. Once you've done that, then you can look at what's going to be involved in investing in this. What equipment do I need? What, am I going to need to staff this any differently? Or can I keep more of my crew on all year long if we do these things? Some of the things that I've seen some of our clients do, and I've seen other businesses do, are adding in things like gutter cleaning or power washing, or cleaning up after the dog in the yard, doing dog cleanup. Those are simple things, but there's also, things like design services. I would venture to say, based on what I've seen with our clients who run landscaping businesses, and having hired plenty of contractors myself over the years, I think that there's a good chance that probably half or more of the properties that you currently service need an update, or need, some design update, or need something to be done. And so you can decide, if they're already a customer, they're already paying you, you don't really have to have that barrier of them paying something to get a design or get something new. You can charge for design if you need to, or if the customer's been with you for a year, you can say, normally we charge $3,000 for this, or whatever the number is that you would charge, but we want to include a free design update plan for you at no cost. I'll bring out my designer, I'll do it myself, however you do that. You can even find other landscape designers if it's not something that you do in-house, and they can work under you. And you can bring them in and say, what would you do to the property? And then they can come up with all the ideas. But then with your customer, you can say, here's all the recommendations, but how do you want to tackle it? What phases would you like to do? Maybe we, clean up these beds and do a new planning here. Or maybe we do a little bit of hardscaping here. But we can break this into phases, over a year or 2 or 3 years, whatever's good for you. That way you're opening up the imagination of your customer. You're helping them see what's possible, and you're keeping their property looking beautiful. Instead of just maintaining it, you can add to it. So that's a simple process that you can use, talking to customers to see what services they want to add. And then also, just considering if things like gutter cleaning or power washing or cleaning up after their dogs, or doing design services or bed maintenance, there's a lot of things that we can add on that we don't always think about. And if we get enough validation and confirmation from our existing customers, then we know that it's worth launching. The key with all of this, like I kind of touched on in the beginning, but it's important to remember, is if you have a solid operation, and we're going to talk a lot about the CEO method this week, which is consistent branding, effective sales, and operational habits. We're going to talk through those. But if you feel like those are solid with your existing services, then find the one that's most talked about by your customers, or you see the most opportunity, that you have some data to back up why you think it's a good opportunity. And then focus on really delivering each job with excellence, so the customers have an amazing experience and get the result they want, and also profitably. So adding on, winter work or other services is with the goal of adding revenue and keeping you busy all year. And the best way to do that is make sure each new service you take on, or each new project you take on, is profitable. That's what's going to save you in the long run, because if you're profitable, you can actually last through the winter on your savings, and you can plan for that, and you can be in good shape. But if you're profitable with services that you add on, then you're really giving your business the chance to grow and excel and succeed. So these are the type of things that we talk about in our mastermind. If you'd like to learn more about that, you can head over to Landscape Marketing Hero. And tomorrow we're going to talk more about consistent branding. So make sure you're tuned in, and we will see you then. If you're ready to begin your journey up the Green Mountain, where we show you how to build a low-stress, high-profit, $10 million per year landscaping company, then head over to landscapemarketinghero.com to download your free growth map. One of our guides will be there to help you along the way. Again, that's landscapemarketinghero.com.